Niles, I need to talk to you. You're not with Frasier, are you?
Why does everybody treat us like we're joined at the hip? I do have coffee with people other than my brother, you know.
Good, because I'm avoiding him.
Well, then talk fast. He's meeting me in 5 minutes.
This has been a very special season. For obvious reasons, has been the most emotional season in the whole run of the show. And there have been some great episodes here. I mean, I think overall, in terms of working during a season, this was probably my favorite one because we knew it was going to be the last one. So it's been a very special time for me.
Well, we're one of the few sitcoms who never changed the core, the essential core of the characters. I mean, if you look at Cheers, they lost Nicholas Colasanto and added Woody Harrelson, and then they lost Shelley Long and added Kirstie Alley, and we never switched over. So, yeah, it was a little bit tougher, but I also think it forced us to dig deeper into the characters, and because ultimately that's where the stories come from.
This show, more than many other shows, feels like a play. I mean, we certainly try to take advantage of the fact that it's on TV and we can edit and put things together that you can't on stage. But there hasn't been another show like it that's occupied this niche. I don't know that there's gonna be another for a long time. I hope there is, because I love writing these characters, and if I don't create one, I want somebody to, because I'm gonna miss it.
What are we looking for?
Well, my money clip. Have you seen it?
Rarely.
This relationship of the brothers is so peculiar. Everybody relates to them, whether you're in that kind of hemisphere or not. I think there's some kind of recognition in these characters that people would want to go back and see them together some more.
I think the audience has stayed with the show for the reason that audience stay with all good comedies, is that they form an emotional bond with the characters. And the characters become kind of extended family to the audience. I certainly know that's how I felt watching shows growing up. I think that's the secret to longevity for any good show, is that the characters are loved by the audience.
Oh, that dog is so precious.
Yes, there are times when I could just squeeze him to death.
I was a fan long before I wrote for the show, and before I came out here to become a writer, I lived in Chicago, and I would watch tapes of Frasier over and over again, just trying to learn, who those characters were and try to teach myself how to write television. You know, they're just so exquisitely drawn, those characters, that they've been fun to write for and they're fun to watch. I was a fan long before I was on the staff.
None of the writers have been here for the whole 11 years, so, I did a script in the 4th season. I was on the staff the 5th and the 6th season, and then I came back on the 11th season. So we've been here at different times. Sometimes you'll say, well, my seasons were better, or my seasons won Emmys, or, it's maintained a level of quality, I think, that no other television show has.
It's official. Dr. Lee says we're pregnant.
I'm so excited. Hello in there. It's your pater.
Stop it.
Well, I think first the alchemy of the actors, just that lightning in a bottle casting, where those 5 actors came together and created characters that were so compelling and relationships that were so entertaining. And then the writing, stepped up to the talent of the actors.
We have an amazing staff of writers. They, top to bottom, they're all just really very talented, funny, brilliant people. And we've often said that no one of us is as smart as Frasier or Niles, but when you put us all together, we somehow managed to get that smart.
I do really admire the writers on this show. They have elevated comedy. And Frasier has been one of those very special shows that I think in another 10, 15 years' time, people will be watching it and laughing at it just the same as they have over these last 11 years.
Okay, just to be clear, you haven't been pining over me since we slept together?
God, no, weren't you there?
I think the key to that kind of longevity is having characters that don't stay the same, that evolve over a period of time and change as we all do. And with that change, hopefully new avenues of comedy open up. I think that's one of the things that has helped us keep the show going that long, but even with that, it is very hard to find those fresh things that you can explore in the writing. And that's what becomes the great challenge as you get into your 9th and 10th and 11th seasons.
We had a rough idea, but a fair idea of where we wanted to lead the characters and where we wanted to lead Frasier. One thing that we wanted to do coming into this year was to have Frasier fall in love, because in 10 years on the air, we'd seen him pursue numberless women, but we had never really seen him fall hard for somebody. Fall hard as Niles had fallen for Daphne. And we thought that was one last emotional journey that the character deserved and that we wanted to send him on.
All the years I've been here, it's been a struggle, but I think, we've had great head writers, Dan O'Shannon and now Chris Lloyd, who, didn't settle for sort of retreads of things we've done in the past. We always tried at least to push ourselves to do something fresh. Whether we succeeded all the time, I don't know, but that was our goal at least.
Hello, Martin. What's that?
Oh, it's Frasier Niles' old playpen. Got it out of storage for you.
Looks a bit rickety.
No, it just needs a little weight to balance it. Put a baby in there and it'll be fine.
Interesting characters and compelling relationships. That's the bottom line of every successful show, much less just a sitcom. Interesting characters and compelling relationships.
I think that Kelsey's done a marvelous job with the character of Frasier and given him a pomposity, but a vulnerability, a lovableness, and at the core of that character is a person who's trying to do the right thing. I think those are all important things, and I think the show's been really funny, too. I think that helps.
Well, part of the fun of doing an 11th and final season of the show is you can start pointing the characters towards where they're going to wind up. You can give Niles and Daphne a pregnancy, a baby on the way to deal with, without having to deal with the actual baby, because by the time the baby gets there, the series will be over.
Ugh, tastes like a cup of cold sick. Oh, it's hell to be pregnant.
I know.
No, you don't.
No, I don't.
And you can, start pointing to a place for Martin and to finish, to leave him in a good place, and a place for Frasier to finish. And it was fun throwing some other things into the mix. Having Maris rear her head again was a lot of fun.
So where is she now?
They're holding her as a flight risk.
Can you imagine?
Well, it didn't help that when they found her, she had a passport, a wig, and $10,000 in her purse.
Maris always has those things in her purse.
But you have an arc. You're building towards the finale, and it's, I think, easier to write that way than to be trying to write season 11 with one eye on what the hell you're going to do in season 12.
I mean, we go long stretches staring at each other saying, how about this? And then, oh, we did that. Or how about that? Or, oh, someone else did that. And you have to find fresh ways of making something old new again, or finding something new, and it's hard.
It's always hard to come up with, they will have come up with when we've finished 264 stories, which is pretty amazing, bulk of work.
What have you got there? Oh, I made a sandwich with some of your cold chicken in there. Also known as quail.
A lot of shows go, okay, we're going to add a new character, and then they add a new character, and about 4 episodes in, they realize, oh, wow, this doesn't really work all that well, and there you are stuck with it. So the way we like to add characters is to write an interesting part, try somebody out, and if it goes well, keep repeating them and asking them back until we go, oh, this has sort of run its course, and then we let them drift away, which gives us a story. Or if it stays going well, then you keep them around. That's sort of how Lilith was born on Cheers. It was just a one-shot deal.
What's one of the hardest things to do, we found over the years, is to bring new characters into the show that really feel like they belong in the same living room with those other characters. And Wendy absolutely does, and Laura does, and all of the people that we've brought in for one-shots or for extended arcs this year have really become a part of the fabric of the show in a way that we were hoping they would, and sometimes hasn't in the past always worked out.
I'm fine now. Don't touch me.
Niles, look at yourself.
Hello.
I'm looking at going on from here and creating a show of my own, and they not only made one character a psychiatrist, they made his brother a psychiatrist. I don't know that you're going to see that on a TV show again. 2 characters who have the same job. These days people want, well, you got to make them different. You got to have them clash. And we've got 2 characters who clash all the time that are completely similar.
should I come up?
I like the one we just did this season, which everybody had a dream kind of moment, and I like that episode a lot. I've liked the episode where Niles and Daphne, a long time ago, were dancing, their first dance. They did a tango together. And then there was another episode, a really early episode, with Niles and Daphne again in his old house with this glockenspiel joke, which was so silly and wonderful. And all those early moments with Niles and Daphne were just so sweet and wonderful because she had no idea. And of course, he's, pining after her.
I think my favorite is Hooping Cranes, which is where Frasier and Niles end up going to a basketball game with Martin, and Niles is sitting in the seat that gets called down to make the half-court shot to win the prize. And Kelsey was directing, so we went down to Staples Center, which doubled for the Seattle arena. And Kelsey said, I want cameras here, I want cameras there, I want cameras there. And I said, why do we need so many cameras? I mean, you just shoot him throwing the ball, and then you shoot the ball going in. It's TV. Kelsey goes, no, I want to see the shot going. I want to get it on camera. So we got down there, I think 8 in the morning. David Hyde Pierce was just shooting half-court shots and trying, and okay, we're rolling. And I thought, I hope they have enough film. 26 attempts later, he sunk a half-court shot. And he got it on film, and he did it his way, and it looks great, and it's one of my favorite episodes.
Hey, boys.
Hey, Dad.
What's up?
Well, actually, after an unusually protracted game of dueling date books, Niles and I have set upon a mutually acceptable evening for an on-team soiree. We're having a dinner party.
It's a strange little episode that I always really liked. It was called The Dinner Party, and it was based on the conceit where the first thing that Niles and Frasier say to each other when the episode begins is, Niles, let's throw a dinner party. And it takes place in real time. In other words, from the time that they say, let's throw a dinner party, until the episode ends, we're seeing 22 minutes of their life trying to plan this dinner party.
By the second act, it becomes this sort of investigation of their relationship. They suddenly start to feel, they overhear someone on an answering machine leaving a message saying, yes, they will attend the dinner party, and they're listening to the message, and the person thinks they've hung up, but they haven't, and says to her husband,
which Dr. Crane? Does it matter? You get the one, you get that other one. Personally, I think the whole arrangement is a little...
Is that thing off the hook?
What? Oh, my God.
and they hear that, and it throws them into this, what does that mean? Who's the other one? Are we always together? Do we spend too much time together? They ask the dad, are we weird?
You're just special.
It was a really fun, wonderful, for me, examination of the relationship, and it was a challenge to do it all in 20 minutes.
And there was something about that seemed so philosophical about life that I really liked.
Ronnie didn't go to parochial school.
She didn't.
No, that was our other babysitter, Sally.
Oh, right. Sally the slut. I liked her.
I would have to say my most memorable moment was probably my first script, The Matchmaker, because I never had that happen before. I had never seen something I'd written played before, and the first time you see that, your script being played by a wonderful cast like that and an audience enjoying it immensely, that's an incredible high, and as with so many other things in life, there's no time like your first time, so that would probably be one of my biggest memories.
The people, the group that we've had here, they've been great. The actors, the writers, the crew, the office staff, they've been great. I mean, I couldn't ask for a better place to go to work every single day.
My prize moment has always been the friendship of the actors and the writers. I've grown through lots of things with them together. We've seen, disappointments and happiness and marriages and births, and so my prize is actually have been lucky to know all these people.
I would say watching them film my first episode that I wrote.
I guess the most memorable part for me is just having a home here for this many years. I mean, it's always a goal.
The two most memorable things for me, one has been, writing a joke for David Hyde Pierce or Kelsey Grammer and just watching them knock it out of the park. The first time that ever happened to me was such a fantastic experience, just hearing David or Kelsey or John or Barry or Jane, take a mediocre joke and make it sing, or take a good joke and make it fantastic. It doesn't get any better than that as a writer, to have those guys doing your material. The other great thing for me has just been working in the writer's room with fantastic writers. We have so much fun. We laugh every day, and I think we've driven each other to be better writers.
I have loved every minute with my KACL family and all of you. For 11 years, you've heard me say, I'm listening. Well, you were listening too.
My most memorable moment was we had just finished editing the pilot, and my partner Peter Casey turned to me and said, "We've got something really special here." And I looked back at him and said, "We do, don't we?" And that memory has really just stuck with me all these years, because we were both right.
Frasier has left the building.